Hey, this is Tim Stafford. I'm the founder of RU Institute, but more importantly, I'm the dad of one of the students here at Hampden DuBose Academy. And they've asked me to come and kind of give my kind of how I feel about Christian education. And there is nothing that I would love to do more. For the last 20 years of my life, I've spent it in at Christian education. And there's really a number of reasons why Christian education is important to me as an educator and as a professional, but those reasons really may or may not matter to you as a parent. I'll tell you why Christian education is important to me as a parent. There's really three things. The first two are kind of what they're sort of things that we build on the third, but I'm going to start with them anyway. The first one really is academics. I mean, academics are important. Our children need to know that 2 plus 2 is 4, and that the War of 1812 happened in 1812. I mean, we know that. But academics at Hampden DuBose Academy and academics in Christian education is far more than just 2 plus 2 equals 4. It's academics in Christian education is academics that are built based on a Christian worldview. And I'm going to talk about worldview in just a minute, but that's probably the most important thing you can remember, that it's not just about academics. Yes, the academics are strong, and yes, it might put us a year or two ahead of the local public schools and all of that. But it's academics from a Christian worldview, not academics from a humanist worldview. You know, it's important that you understand that Christian education is not a humanist education with Bible added. That doesn't work. A Christian education has to be academics that perform within and among and around and connected to a Christian worldview. And so that's the number one reason why, that's the first reason. It's not the number one reason, but it's the first reason that I choose Christian education for my daughter here. The second reason is safety. And you know, what I love about this place is that it's like coming to a park every day. I mean, it's beautiful out here, and if you just I'm out here filming today. I mean, it's just beautiful. Sun is out. I've got trees and birds, and I hope you hear all that on the film. I mean, it's just wonderful. And I feel like my daughter is safe here. I mean, she comes home with a fair number of bug bites, but I know she's safe. And she's not going to be, swift away, and we're not going to have all the issues that we have with the general population in a humanist environment, and all those things. That's true. But there's a different kind of safety that I want to talk about, and that's the safety to learn and fail and succeed in a Christian worldview. See, academics can be about 2 plus 2 equals 4, and that stuff is set, and we're good with that. But, what about ideologies like when we're studying transcendentalism in literature, or we're studying something about Lincoln in history, or we're studying about the forefathers, or we're studying about an ideology like Marxism or socialism or federalism or whatever. I mean, whatever we're studying, how do we know that our children are safely learning what they need to learn based on a biblical worldview? If I send my daughter somewhere else where I don't know what exactly the worldview is, I cannot assure myself that she's learning what she needs to learn in a safe environment. Listen, friends, I don't know if you're aware of this, but being a Christian in the public schools is a very difficult thing these days. It's not welcome, it's not wanted, and it's spoken against everywhere. Now, maybe if we have high schoolers who, need to go to a public school for some reason, or maybe certainly college students who need to go to a public institution, I'm not here to rail against public education. What I am saying is that at the most formative time of their life, children need to understand what the biblical worldview is. They need to be able to discover their place in God's Word and discover their place in God's world. And so although, Christian education is a lot of things, but what it really is, it's safe because of the worldview that it embraces. So my daughter now can safely learn about humanism because it's done in a way that will bring her back to the gospel, bring her back to a Christian worldview. She can learn about transcendentalism because it's going to bring her back. She can learn about the Civil War because it's going to bring her back to the reality of who we are in God and what God has planned for us and God's story throughout history. This is very important because otherwise there's really no reason to put our children in Christian school if these things don't exist. If the academics and safety aren't based on a Christian worldview.